This is a movie on the scanner, which is a follow-up on the overview thing because they're somewhat related. The scanner, that's this one, can be used for two things: offense and defense. Offense we'll cover later. Defense we'll do now. Defense consists of simply of hitting a scan button, see what's going on if something gets near you. If you're in a belt, which we are, I would be mining here, and this would be low sec or 0.0. I want to know what's going on in my vicinity. I want to know, if some ship is incoming to my belt, which could be trouble. If I've done the overview thing, I would have had a mining setup, and you would have as well, and all that. If I now would scan for this, of course, asteroids don't show up anymore, so that's good actually. You would be mining and just watching your overview, seeing if something comes in. The thing is, you'll only see it when it enters your belt, and that might be just too late. If I open up F11, you'll get up, amongst other things, the system overview. This is where we're at. This is the system, all the planets and the sun and all that stuff and gates. If someone is warping from this spot to me, when he's at my belt, that's too late, as said. I really want to catch him midway. So what I'm going to do is scan for him. I'm just going to keep scanning the whole time. Let's say that you would be scanning an area like this. I can't really tell if it is, but the scanning range is 14.4 AU, so that would be a circle. Officially it would be more than a circle, but just let's use this 2D. So if he warps to me and I pick him up when he's here, he still has to go a few seconds before he gets up my belt. That gives me just the extra seconds for me to get safe and clear. The problem, of course, is that if you look at this scan, this is rather a mess. I'll close F11 again. Just like the overview is a mess right now. This is because of two things. First of all, I'm just scanning for everything. If I tick this box, all of a sudden it gets a lot better. As you can see, I still can't scan for asteroids, so those are not important anymore. And I see ships, which is rather cool. The other thing about not using the normal way is that this already takes almost a second to scan. This is a quiet system and there's not a lot going on. If you're in a busy system with mission runners and all that crap, scanning will take quite a few seconds, and you don't want that. So take this box and all of a sudden it uses the same rules as with the overview. That's why you need to be able to do the overview first before you can do the scanner. Okay, so as said, defense is nothing but scanning every few seconds. It's no use scanning every minute, because there could be ships coming in seconds every time. If you scan every minute, you're gonna miss a whole lot, or you might miss a whole lot, and you don't want that. So every few seconds, hit that scan button so that if something is coming in, you'll catch that mid warp, which is what you want. Okay, this is fairly easy. What you could also do if something is incoming, I'm going to add planets now to show you what I mean. There's a bunch of planets here, as you can see. There's planet 9 and there's a bunch of them at range. I can't really tell at the moment where they're going to. All I can tell is that if some ship is coming into range, he's within 14 AU, 14.4 AU, but he could be going anywhere. So if I see something on the scanner that attracts my attention, I can just warp away, get safe or get ready to attack him, whichever way you want to do it. What you can also do is say, well, let's narrow down the search a bit. You can see 460,000 kilometers, 7.3 AU, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to some arbitrary range, 200 million. and all of a sudden I only get my planet and some other stuff I'm not interested in. So I know there's someone in within 14.4 AU, but he's not at my belt yet. He's not at my planet even yet. So at the moment he's not a risk. This is just a check. I could just wait for him to get in my range while I'm already aligned and clicking the button, see if he actually comes in, and when he does, get the hell out. This is more of a let's see if he's actually close thing. Once you've verified that he's not or that he is, you might want to go back to full range. On that, getting full range, just type a whole bunch of numbers and click scan. Then the game will say, well mate, what you typed is way too much, I'll set it to maximum range for you. That's what you actually want. Okay, so defense is simple. 360 degree scan, full range or less, less range if you want to see what's going on for real. Use the overview settings and actually have a setting that works for you, so it shows ships and doesn't show a whole lot of other crap. Offense is a bit different. Offense is about actually finding targets. The target we're going to look for is this one. That's an old of mine. I put her in a belt here. There were some rats, so I hope she'll be safe. And looking at the fact that she still has a ship, she is safe. We're going to find her. How are we going to do that? First of all, well, I found her on the scanner, so that's good. Then I'm going to narrow that down to see if what's going on here. Oh, I'm not moving. Why am I not moving? Hold on a second. Get away. Micro drive. There we go. Yeah. What you do is try to narrow it down again. So I'm going to narrow it down to a range that depicts me, just one or several. Oh, that's actually very good. What you could do is just set a range and a bit more. Then you get the full range again. You could set it to 15. And you still get a few planets. So you narrow down the search. What you can do is just say, well, there's one planet here, the others are far away. So again, just take that arbitrary number again. Why am I taking this number? 200 million. Because most of the time, anything that's within that planet or belt or moon range will be within the 200 million kilometer range. So effectively, you're getting your own planet. And as you can see, she is showing up. So that's good. Now, how to look for her? There's one solution to that, and that's using the angle. If I use F11 again, you can see that the angle now is fairly small, and if I move it up, it gets bigger, 180 degrees. There's one little feature in Eve, like there's so many. If you set it to 360, it still shows you the 180 degrees, graphic. Oh well. I could be doing it from right here at the belt I'm at, but I'm not going to. Why? If you're looking for things, it's best to come from the middle. Look at the middle and then, search out. So I'm going to planet 9 at some range. Never go to 0, by the way, or 100. Always pick something in between. It's safer. I'm using a low screen resolution at the moment, and it's a bit of a mess. While I'm warping there, I'm going to explain you something else. If you're going to scan, you do that first in 360 degree to actually verify that the target is in range. Then you switch to 180 and do it again. She's gone. Now what you would expect is me to turn around. As you can see, that things turns with me another 180 degrees. As you can see, I'm now pointing south downwards, and scan again. There she is. The problem is, all I now know is that she's in the southern half. That doesn't, useful. That's not the best way of doing it. If I scan here and I do the northern half and I don't find her, and I go and I turn 90 degrees, so not 180 but 90 degrees, and I scan again, she doesn't show up. That means that she's not in this quadrant. If I now, that must mean that because she wasn't here, in this half, and she's not in this extra quadrant, so this whole 75% of my scanning angle, she effectively must be in this part. Would I have gotten a hit right now, that would have meant that she would have been in this quadrant, because I scanned this one before and that didn't give me a hit. So if I now scan, she'll show up probably here, and look at that. Okay, what you're going to do now is narrow it down a bit more, see if you can find her. Oh, that's a rather coincidence. But we're guessing that she's probably in a belt, so I'm going to add belts to my overview. Okay, that was too easy, wasn't it? Let's add a bit more. 3 and 6. Let's make this a bit more difficult. My view, my scan shows that she can be at multiple belts, either 3 or 6, and I can't really tell, for whatever reason, which it is. Since it's only a few belts, I'm going to do it the smart way. I'm going to target belt number 6 in this case first, because we know it's already at 3. I'm gonna aim in that direction, and if I have trouble aiming, I'll hit the Alt key, and you see that little box coming over the ship. That's your center of the ship according to the game, so you just center the box on the target, and you narrow down the search a bit, like 5 degrees or something, and you scan. You see the belt, but no ship. Okay, we remember that it was at planet 3, belt 3. Finding belt 3, and let's scan again. Well, what do you know? That works. Also, you see me doing this. I could just try and find something in space and hope that it would be, the proper one and all that, but it doesn't work. If you click on something on the overview, it highlights on your screen. You can see this one right here, and it's easier to find. See? That's how it works. So what you do to find someone, you verify that someone is within your scanning range, then you try to narrow down the range a bit to see at which planet it will probably be at, if it's not in the mid-safe spot. You warp to the planet because that's the middle of that area, makes your life a lot easier. Then you switch to 180 degrees, find out which quadrant the target is in, narrow down to the quadrant, then check which belts are there, manually select those belts and do a narrow search on the belts. That's the slow way of doing things. If you're going to speed it up a bit, because you have to, because if people are paying attention and hitting their scanner in defense more than once a minute, you hope they don't, but you never know, they'll get away. So we're going to speed this up. I don't need to have stations for this one, and I don't need to have planets for this one. Going to warp away a bit. Maximum range. Okay, I'm outside scanning range. Planet 9 is far away. There it is, like 20 AU. I'm going to warp to planet 9. See if there's a target there. Warping at some range, not 100, not 0. And while doing that, I'll just keep clicking the scan button, see if I can pick anything up, at my target or anything or anywhere in between. The more information you have, the better. Now watch this. While I'm in warp, I'm going to find it. There's something. I'm going to narrow down my search. I'm going to aim at things while in warp, see if I can find something. Not there. Anything there? There's something. Oh, look at that. Belt 3. I already know. I'm not even out of warp, but I know that belt 3 is my target. So now I'm dropping out of warp, and now I'm warping into my belt. So you do this while still in warp. When you arrive at are getting close to the planet, you just hit 360, you do 180, if you find something, and then you just turn while still in warp, turn around till you can find something. That's the quick way of doing it. This way, from the range, or from the time I came into scan range of that planet, and I actually warped to the belt, were just a bunch of seconds. So if that person was slow on hitting the scanner button, I would be between those times, and that target would never find me and react to it. That's how you do it. Let's remove this stupid travel thing. There we go. Why can't you see her right now? Because she was moving and she moved off grid, but she is actually somewhere here. If she hasn't died. No, there she is. So, it's fairly simple. Try to narrow down your search by either lowering your range or your angle, or both, and do it as quick as possible. If you're not sure what's going on, let's go back to the planet again, and you hit your scanner and you find a bunch of ships on scan, and you set your range as you shoot to a range. You see 3 ships here. The fact that 2 ships have the same name is already a bit telling, but there's probably a POS here. How do you find it? Well, if you did the thing, you have a POS search, and I'll click on scan, and it shows me just 1 tower, which makes my life rather easy. So that means there is a POS here. It's a small one. What am I going to do? It's the same as with belts. I'm going to add, here we go, moons. Add moons. Add moon to overview. Well, look at that. There's 8 moons. I'm going to switch to 180 degrees. I don't get a target. I turn a bit. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. I find a tower. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. That wasn't there before, so it's probably moon 7. I'm going to click moon 7. I'm going to find it. I'm going to narrow down my search again. What do you know? Moon 7. Now I'm going to switch back to my search thing, or just my ship thing, and check for ships. There's no ships there. That's funny. Okay. Or just untick that box and see what's going on. It has a force field. Of course, it has 2 labs and 2 small beam lasers. That's a small pass. Would there have been ships here? You would, you'd see them on this scan. You'd say, well, there are ships in the vicinity, but they're at a POS. Let's not go there, because POSs are bad. They might shoot you because of these 2 things. That's essentially the scanner. Offense and defense. It's quite simple, really, once you're used to it.